Welcome to Tech Savvy. My name is Leigh Newman. I'm Associate Provost for the West Georgia Technical College and the LaGrange campus. And we are in between classes right now, but we're ready to get started up in summer semester, and classes start the 17th, I think, 19th?
19th.
19th. So late registration is soon coming up. If you haven't registered yet, you need to get up to the school and we can help you get registered, or either visit us on our website at www.westgatech.edu. We'll be glad to help you online too. Very excited about our guest today. Dawn White is with us, and she has a list of jobs. Her job title goes on and on and on and on and on. So I'm going to start with her telling you what she does for the campus, for the school, for the communities, and for the students, for career services. She helps people find jobs. So, Dawn, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Well, it's really good because what you do, of course, I'm excited about what you do just because you're making a big difference in the people's lives. But I want our viewers to understand that this is a valuable service that we offer at West Georgia Tech on all our campuses, but specifically on LaGrange. You have an office here, so you are able to spend a lot of time here. You're getting to know everybody, you're getting to know the needs of the employer. So I want you to start and just give me an example of your day, one day in the life of Dawn White.
If it's a day we're coming to LaGrange, usually it involves, I schedule appointments ahead of time. If it's an individual student that wants to work on a resume or a job search, we also serve our alumni. So if it's a graduate of West Georgia Tech, we assist them as well. I'm a member of the SHRM group, as well as the employer committee for the Department of Labor. So I attend those meetings and work with the Career Connections group as well for our job fairs, and they have those monthly meetings where the employers come to help people who are looking for jobs. So I'm active with that. We try to make sure that the students know the jobs that are available to them through the services on the job web. That is also available on the West Georgia Tech website. It says Career Services Job Web. So basically my day consists of usually meeting with students, talking with employers to see what jobs they have available, to make sure that we can put them out there for the students, speaking with the employers so that I can find out exactly what it is they're looking for. You know, if maybe they're willing to give me an internship for a student or a job, or so it's a variety of things. I have 3 other departments that I supervise. Thank goodness for really good employees who take care of most of their own work. I supervise Student Life, Disability Services, and the Workforce Investment Act program.
Student Life, that's like activities?
All of our student activities.
And we have a lot of those.
We do. Our coordinator for Student Life is great. She takes care of most of the work, and mostly what I do is sign the money she spends. So I have to make sure she spends. Other than that, she takes care of everything else.
Right.
And then our disability services and special populations has a coordinator as well, and she takes care of those.
Define special pops.
Special populations are those students who might be a non-traditional student. If you have a gentleman who wants to be in the nursing field, they consider that to be a non-traditional field. Disability services might mean a student who needs an accommodation. Maybe they need an interpreter if they are deaf. Maybe they need some extended time to take a test, whatever they need to accommodate that. Disability. Zelma Jones is a disability services coordinator, and she takes care of that. And then I worked for the Workforce Development Act program prior to this job. I started this job in September of last year, when the previous person retired after many years here. The Workforce Investment Act is a program that's designed to send dislocated workers or low income, what we call adult funded students, to assist them with returning to school. If a dislocated worker is not likely that they're going to return to whatever it was they were laid off from, then we look to help them get new skills.
Because the funding on WIA is for the eligibility deal is if they lost their job no fault of their own.
Right, they must be, if you receive unemployment, then you are considered to have lost your job by no fault of your own.
Okay, so those unemployed people that get their unemployment checks, I mean, doesn't it run out one day?
Yes, it does, and having WIA will not extend it, unfortunately. So the object of the game for us is to assist them in moving as quickly and as successfully as possible through their program to help them find additional funding sources so that if the unemployment does run out, because before we had those very long extended periods of time of unemployment, well, those are no longer.
Yeah, because they kept extending it.
They did, and they extend. Some people got it for a lot of weeks, and were actually able to finish their program. But now we have to also try to help them find some other types of funding to finish. The other group that you work with are what we can call adult funded, and that's going to be low income. Basically, we can look at income, we can look at if you lived in public housing, if you receive food stamps or some other kind of public assistance, then that means the federal government has already qualified you.
Right.
So that qualifies you to apply for WIA.
And my experience in WIA, and I think it's changed, but I'd like to know what it's been updated to, is, all right, you still have your HOPE. In most cases, a lot of people have Pell, and then this WIA just covers everything. WIA, the act was passed in 1998, and it was designed to be the funds of last resort, which means you would use everything else, and then WIA would pick up at the end. Right.
So, but lately, we've been allowing them to keep their Pell, what we call their Pell grant for what we call living wages. We think that is about to change with our new governing body. But we will still be there to assist with things such as tools, uniforms, medical, things that they will have that they won't, if they use their Pell to pay, they won't have that money.
Right.
So we'll still be there to assist with those things.
Because Pell helps to cover transportation, child care, and all that. Those are the big barriers always. If I can't go back to school because I don't have anybody take, well, no, don't say that. We can help you with that.
And part of what we do is help you find it.
Right, right.
To do that.
But you have to be in a program that WIA approves of. Yes,
you do. It has to be considered a demand occupation, which is pretty much anybody who's looking for a job. If you come to talk to me about what you might want a career in or what you might want to look at as a program, we're going to talk about what are the needs of your community, what kind of jobs are available. Well, basically WIA does the same thing. It really serves not much of a purpose if someone dedicates their 2 years of their time or a year of their time, and when they finish they're unable to get a job. It really doesn't serve
Cosmetology used to be not on the list.
It is still not, because you're supposed to be able to come out and earn a sustainable wage. The problem with cosmetology is that the person must develop a clientele, and so they can't always guarantee that the person will be able to earn a sustainable wage. While we know that some of them are very, very successful and make a great deal of money, they don't consider that. And that's not just this area. I worked for Northwest Georgia area. I was a coordinator with them, and it's basically the same thing up there.
Well, from East Georgia, they had the same situation. Well, what are some jobs? I guess we're staying on the WIA because I feel like a lot of our viewers could benefit from the WIA program. Of course, I think they could benefit from a lot of things that you're doing.
Right.
But with WIA, can you give us like the top 3 or 4 jobs that?
Healthcare industry.
Nursing.
Certainly, they're doing really well. The RNs, the LPNs, the medical assistants, clinical lab, all of them seem to be employing pretty quickly. Every now and then you get somebody that it might take a little bit. Surge tech seems to take a little bit longer sometimes because hospitals, I think as the economy is improving, the hospitals are taking more of those people in where they had cut them back and were doing basic services. When people choose not to have elective surgeries, then you don't need as many extra people.
Right.
So as the elective surgeries return, so will those positions. CNAs, huge demand for CNAs.
Because a CNA now, you have to have a CNA degree, certificate before you can even think about going into RN.
And that's a new thing. that's some things that they've added that I really haven't gotten, but I do know that. And those jobs are not hugely paid, but if you needed a job to have while you were working on something else, or if that was sufficient for you, if that was a sustainable wage for you, then that's fine. You know, some people can do that. Maybe they just need a part-time job. Maybe the spouse has a job, or, you know, and they can do that. So, but they do need to remember that is on the low end of the pay scale.
Right, right. But like we have those dual enrollment students that are in the CNA class that once they get out, they can do work in the summertime. Right. They can, you know, work while they're in college.
That is, to me, for a young person, that is invaluable experience. You kind of need to see. I'm one of those people who thought they wanted to be a nurse. And started out and, you know, was taking the classes and spent some time in the hospital with a family member and came out and changed my major. So it really was not the program for me. So that allows you to have a skill to see if you want to pursue something greater with that skill.
Yeah.
So
I do. I agree. Important. That is so important, that dual enrollment program.
And then the industrial maintenance positions. Mr. Biaggi could explain them all to you, but they're, you know, the industrial mechanical systems, electronics, industrial electricity.
My next career, I'm going to go into industrial maintenance.
I should have.
And I'm going to learn about PLCs because they run the world.
Absolutely. And welding, you know, there's specific welding programs that people are desperate to have welders. The welders, any of those kind of trade and the technology and trade type programs are extremely. I can't place them all. I don't have enough to place them. I have more companies and more positions than I have qualified students. Right. And they're basically, I was told they're coming out with a job. You know, like they're catching them before they even get out and hiring them.
I've heard that. Well, let's take a break. Take a deep breath. So when we come back in a minute, we will continue our conversation.
Okay.
Welcome back to Tech Savvy. I'm Leigh Newman. I'm with West Georgia Tech, Associate Provost, and we have a great guest star today. It's Dawn White. She is in charge of career services and student support services and WIA and disability. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Dawn, I think our viewers would like to know the three different perspectives. Like, I'd like for you to talk about first what you can do for a student, and then after that I want you to talk about what you do for an employer.
Okay.
And then kind of how it all benefits. It's like one big happy package, you know. Start with the students. If I was a student, I came to your office, I said, I need a job, what would you do?
We'd start at the beginning. The biggest thing I'd like to know is, depending upon your experience range, I would want to ask you, what have you done in the past? You know, and to kind of get an idea if you've had, you know, a varied background, what of that did you enjoy and what did you not like? So we kind of look at what you've done in the past. There are some career interest tests that we can give, or you can go on the internet and you can find free career interest tests if you'd like to do that. Don't ever pay anybody to do that. You can do those for free.
So I'd take a test to see what my interest and my background and my hobbies and whether I want to be outside or inside, things like that.
And it would kind of give you an idea, you know, if you don't mind talking, then maybe you could, you know, there are some fields that you can consider. But if you're a very quiet person who would prefer to work in a cubicle, that's a very different path from someone who likes to talk. So we try to figure out what it is you're interested in. The other thing that I recommend to students is, if you've already picked what it is that you're convinced that you want to do, I recommend you do what I call doing job market research. And that is to take those fields that you're interested in and go to some of the job search engines, the Georgia Department of Labor, Indeed.com, Monster, Career Builder, they're just multiple. And put in that position title. Put in whatever it is. If it's nurse that you want, put in nurse, and put in where you want to live. Do you want to remain in LaGrange? Are you willing to drive 30 miles from LaGrange, 40 miles from LaGrange, 50 miles from LaGrange. Put in whatever that job title is and look at the number of positions that they have. If you see that there's a very limited number of positions that are available for that, then maybe we want to look at adding something with it to make you more marketable and more employable, or maybe we want to look at something totally different.
Right.
Are you willing to move? Are your roots here? A lot of people have made their home, and they don't want to leave here. So we want to help them look for something.
Do you recommend that a student comes in before they enroll in classes, or?
Sometimes, some people have, and they'll call me, and I'll just tell them on the phone, kind of give them that path. Some of them want more guidance than that, and usually I will try to do that. It was that I travel to campus and just try to schedule the groups. There are some other really good people who can do that as well. Your admissions counselors can help you with some of that. They may have a different path they send you, but it's kind of the same thing. But if you're not sure, I would recommend that you speak with me or with an admissions counselor or somebody to kind of get an idea of where it is you want to go. If you're just graduating from high school, maybe you want to talk with your high school counselor about what some of the options are from there. And so that's kind of what we do for the students, and just kind of get them on a path. We all have to change directions every now and then. I've certainly changed several times along the way. Then with the employer, we speak with the employer to try to get an idea of what it is they're looking for. What is it that our instructors can let our students know these jobs are going to be available with this employer, and this employer has these. Or sometimes if an employer asks for a graduate in a particular program to have a specific skill, we might work with those instructors for that program to see if we can help with that, to allow those students to be more marketable to that company for employment. So that's pretty much what we do. I do have a job web. It's the WestGA Tech /job web, and you'll when you go to it says experience. That's just the engine that drives the job search. That's where I post all the available positions. It can be accessed by both students, alumni, and the public.
Right.
They're welcome to use it. You do have to register for an account to be able to see the positions. So we try to get those out there. I send all the announcements to the instructors of those specific fields of study, so that they can pass them along to their students as well.
Well, I think, like what you said earlier, that you wish you had enough graduates to place in all those opening jobs. I get tired of hearing, there are no jobs available. There are no jobs available.
They are. It's just we haven't trained enough or had enough people develop an interest. You wouldn't want to just say to somebody, you need to quit your job and move over here, but maybe you're underemployed and you need to add to your skills to enable your skills to grow and your income potential to grow. So basically, that would be an option for returning to school.
I think a lot of people, I keep hearing the barriers, and one of them is, well, I'm on shift work. I do shift work. I can't figure out how to do school. I can't work it in my schedule. But that's not the case anymore, because we do have online classes that you can work at your own pace and own schedule. And then we have quite a few programs that are individualized.
We do, and I was extremely skittish of the online classes myself personally. I did my first 2 college degrees in the classroom, just like everybody else, and you had to go to class, and that was the only thing I knew. And that was when you went to the library basement and you looked for the microfiche. So it was a while back. But back in 2010, I decided to go back to work on an MBA in HR. So most of that was online. Having a full-time job, I couldn't take all those classes in the classroom. So I decided to take the hard ones in the classroom. People can learn to take online classes. It takes a lot of initiative, and it takes a lot of persistence. You have to really want to do it. And if you're a procrastinator like me, you must dedicate the time to it. But it's not as hard as people think that it is. If you can shut the door and hide from your family for a couple of hours, you'll do really well with them. And you can do the vast majority of any program that we have online. For the same price. It's no additional cost. There's no, we provide you with everything that you need other than a computer to be able to access those classes and to pass them.
See, I think that's an ideal situation, but like you were saying, the industrial maintenance area, whether it's welding or industrial maintenance or electrical or process control or PLCs, I mean, the list goes on, and the demand is unbelievable.
It is. I mean, you can simply look, and you don't even have to look at my job web. If you will look at the paper, or if you speak to the staffing agencies here in LaGrange, or if you speak to the employers here in LaGrange, that's what they're going to tell you they're looking for. There are some other things out there. They're still looking for some accounting. Accounting is a popular. We don't want to make it sound like everything is a tech and trade program. Healthcare is extremely popular. Accounting is one of our programs that is still on the high end of employment. Business administrative technology, there are jobs. We just struggle a little more to find them because, like I said before, as the economy improves, the demand for those jobs will improve. So, it is improving. So, you really have to look hard at whatever it is you choose, and that's why I want people to make sure that the jobs exist where you want to be before you choose that.
Right.
Because we have 120, 30, I don't even know how many programs. And surely one of those would be the program for you, and it would work to enable you to stay where you want to be.
All right, well, we're coming up to the end, but I wanted you to cover some trends. Like, from an employer's perspective, what do you see the trends? What are they asking for? What are they needing? What is what they're looking for?
Skills are basic, and everybody's taught the skills in the classes. We have some excellent instructors here who provide you with some excellent skills, but you also need to come with your own work ethic, and you also need to come with what they call soft skills. We need for you to go to work on time, to work while you are there, to be, dedicated to your job. It doesn't mean your job has to be your life, but to be that person who comes to work, does their job, has a good attitude, be dependable.
Work with others well.
That is one of the hugest concerns that I've heard in all the meetings that I've attended and the employers that I've met with individually. It's not so much that we can't help you learn the rest of the skills that you need, but we need you to be able to be there for us to be able to do that. So what they call the soft skills are extremely important to the employers.
What about for the students? They need to. What are they able to sell if they graduate from West Georgia Tech? Why are they better to be chosen than anybody else if they're a graduate from West Georgia Tech?
Well, if you've gone through the program and you've graduated, that's obvious dedication. So that means you're going to start and complete what you start and complete. So that means you're going to go to work and do your job. It gives them more of an indicator of what you're willing to do. If you're willing to maybe have worked another job and completed school, or you've had a family and you've completed school, those kind of things show the employer that not only do you come with the skills that we've taught you, but hopefully we've instilled in you some work ethics, some ethics in general, some dedication, some, what's important,
Well, that is what I preach over and over, is we've got to make sure the students understand that when they graduate, they're going into the real world. So we're offering them an opportunity to practice what goes on in the real world at West Georgia Tech.
And it doesn't matter if you're fresh out of high school or if you're on the older end.
Non-traditional.
It doesn't really matter. You're going to come out with the same basis regardless of age.
Well, I don't think people are too picky about the ages right now. They just need people to come.
No, they're not. If the person has the skills and the ability, and when you refer to ability, it's the ability to learn. Because a lot of times I've had employers tell me if they'll just come with the basics, we'll teach them everything else that they need to know.
Well, Dawn, we're out of time.
That's it?
Yes. It's been fun, and I hope you'll plan on coming back to visit.
I will.
Because I love talking to you. I love knowing what we are offering to our students. It's valuable. It's not what they can get other places.
No, it's not.
But one of our goals is to place our students once they graduate, and that's what we're, that's one of those report card items that we have to keep up with.
I usually try to be in LaGrange at least one day a week. But my phone lines both ring in the same place. So if you call me at the LaGrange number, it rings
What's
at my
your number? Tell our visitors.
I'll give you the other one. 770-824-5245, and that rings both in Murphy and LaGrange. So
and your website, what's your email address?
It's Dawn, my mother couldn't spell, DAWNE .white@westgatech.edu.
So it's Donnie.
Something like that. But you can't imagine the things that I've been called. Some people are surprised I'm not male when I meet them. So, but
well, thank you so much for coming today, and I hope you'll come back and keep up the good work. And West Georgia Tech's very fortunate to have you on staff.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode of Tech Savvy. Thank you for joining us.